Jurassic World Rebirth has been playing for a good few weeks now, and naturally, some of the fantastic artists who have worked on this movie have begun to share their work. With help from our very own Alex, I have compiled some of the best pieces, and in this video, we're going to check out some of the art behind this new Jurassic adventure. Starting off with Richard Anderson's keyframes from Rebirth. Jurassic World Rebirth keyframes done with Gareth Edwards. I was given a few key moments to focus on from the script, and these were a few I enjoyed as we explored. Very fun and challenging experience with the pace that the project ramped up and how quickly everyone was moving to begin filming. Learned a lot. First off, we see the Distortus Rex in the third act. The reveal through the smoke, we see this creature approach these characters on the dock. Now the next image is where things get interesting. We have the rescue chopper up here, some of the team falling out as the D-Rex tugs at the chopper. Obviously, what we're seeing here didn't make it into the movie quite like this. The D-Rex design is drastically different to what we eventually got, and if you've seen the movie, then you'll know that the scene didn't play out like this. But we get a really cool look at what could have been a good look at this InGen facility, and the next shot shows us the scene from another angle. Now it's possible that at one point this wasn't even meant to be the D-Rex. I don't know that for sure, but it's looking like a much more generic carnivore, maybe even just a T-Rex. Either way, the dinosaur looks down on the survivors here as the rescue chopper hovers above. Pretty interesting to see what could have been seen on screen. Now in the next image, we are inside the gas station, the characters hiding behind a shelving unit there, and to the left, the Mutodon, or whatever dinosaur was being considered for this scene. The scene ultimately plays out similarly to this. I mean, there's not a drastic change in visuals from the concept art to the final movie, but the dinosaur definitely is looking different. Perhaps a Velociraptor hybrid. It looks a lot chunkier than the Raptors and the Mutodon that we ended up getting, so it would be great to learn what the original plan was, or if this really was just what the winged Mutodon was supposed to look like before it changed to what we saw in the movie. We know that the designs for these dinosaurs shifted during Gareth Edwards' time on the movie and weren't finalized until much later, so that would explain the different look for this dino. The next shot shows us inside the tunnels, and we see what is believed to be the Mutodon stalking the group as they approach the locked gate. Shifting gears now, we are outside on the ocean and we're getting a look at the Mosasaurus. Side point, did you see that the Mosasaurus in Rebirth has been confirmed to not be the same one that escaped in Fallen Kingdom? What do you think about that? Anyway, we see the shadow of this looming aquatic reptile as it moves under the water, and seabirds, seagulls fly above. The next piece of art shows us the sailboat, the Delgado's boat, after it has been sideswiped by the creature. You can also see Spinosaurs in the water there, which aided in the attack. In the movie, the Spinosaurs obviously don't approach the sailboat, but they are sighted nearby. We learned that the species hunt with the Mosasaurus, so it will be interesting to learn if at one point the Spinos also attacked the sailboat. Some great pieces by Richard Anderson.
Oh, Mr. Anderson.
Now, this is where it gets real interesting. We have this post shared by Graphics Union. The post says, GU presents Jurassic World Rebirth with graphics led by Matthew Clark. Jurassic Rebirth was a dream to work on, as it was the design of the first movie all those years ago that got me interested not only in graphics, but how they could be used narratively. Director Gareth Edwards wanted a very different look to the previous films. I created a rebrand for InGen, the series' fictional company. He was keen to retro future Y2K's textile pioneered by the Designers Republic, which was based on the 60s international type style. From this reference came the new look for InGen, leaning into tight Helvetica, finished with symbols and codes. Both he and designer James Klein liked microtech decals on everything. This was achieved with a variety of methods for props like the raft bag at Stylo Film TV, mixed silk screening and direct print on rubber sheet. The InGen Jeep was realized using vinyls, etched metal plates from PPD Limited, and lots of dry rub transfers from Bell signs to achieve this level of micro texture. A visual nod to the first movie was a key part of the look. All fence signage was based on the originals but in the new style and then 3D printed for texture. For the Natural History Museum, Louise created both the branding and the exhibit displays. These worked in numerous bits of Jurassic lore thanks to access to Universal's archive. For the Suriname location, Louise and Nadine created a tropical dive bar. To build a world where dinosaurs are commonplace, a huge mural advertising a tour firm was created, as well as candid photographs showing dinosaurs mingling among tourists. The Mosa is not your beloved one, don't worry. The signage was then hand-painted by Cap Graphics. Our gas station required a shop's worth of merch in our retro future style. Sophie created milk and juice cartons designed to tile on a shelf. For in-store posters, 3D versions were made in Adobe Dimension and rendered to create fake product shots. We also created hundreds of faux magazines, shelf trims, signs, and standees. And if we take a look at the actual work, we can see the insane level of detail that went into building this new world. InGen in the 2010s on this new island, we see the detailed work by Matthew Clark and the team. InGen biogenetics and the design for this awesome new vehicle, and while we didn't get to really explore the lab, his team created some incredible pieces showing the dinosaurs and creatures InGen were creating and housing at the lab. The production design on this movie is nothing short of fantastic. It might even be the best thing about the movie. We get a look at the emergency supply shed, the emergency raft, and a much closer look inside the Site C lab. Yes, that's right, this island is confirmed through production design to be the infamous Site C. Unfortunately, no such confirmation is in the movie, but what we can see here is a map of the new island and confirmation that it is indeed Site C. The production design inside the lab is nothing short of fantastic, and it's a real shame we only saw it briefly at the opening and for like maybe 2 shots with Duncan and Loomis. Any good Jurassic explores the abandoned facilities, so it is a shame Rebirth didn't focus more on this, especially considering the amazing work that the team had done. We get a look at Duncan's boat and a look at the gas station. Now, I don't know if the Qualtech Rex was seen in the movie or not, but the Red Rex here is based on the original Kenner Red Rex from the 90s, which is a pretty cool nod. Honestly, it is wild seeing how in-depth the design really went. The production designers really gave the island a full presence. Really beautiful stuff, including a close look at the bar where we first meet Duncan. Go check out the Graphics Union Instagram post for more of this incredible work. Now, continuing the work from Matthew Clark, we have this fantastic look at the InGen logo design. It's still a bit confusing when this facility was supposed to have existed, but looking at the various InGen logo designs, Matt describes how the logo came to be in his post, and it's worth checking out for yourself to really dive into this stuff. The first task on Rebirth was to revamp the InGen logo to fit within the world that Klein Design and Gareth were creating. Gareth liked the work by Designers Republic, who created the look for the Wipeout games, as well as a lot of music culture in the early Y2Ks. Their style, mixing tight sans serif type with text shapes and bold colors, was inspired by the international typographic style. That used modernist type with geometric graphics in structured grid systems to cleanly and effectively convey information. That look found use in corporate rebrands of the 60s and 70s, often with Helvetica to create the image of an efficient, trustworthy institution. That would later be parodied in movies that featured villainous corporations like Alien, which was another of Gareth's references. The mix of high-tech with period-suspicious corporate cleanliness was a perfect match for the InGen brand. Based on an early brief, the first logos were much more sci-fi, incorporating dual languages, abstract images of genetic imagery, and lent into a retro future look. A desire to reference the first movie meant moving closer towards the original logo, updated in our clean Corp Tech style. Given the refs, it made sense to make Helvetica new the core of the brand. To give the logo a 90s feel, both the gen and biogenetics used lowercase extended italic, to me is a very 90s type and is visible in the JP1. Lowercase was both a nod to the mixed case type featured on the InGen logos of the original JP films and an aid to the transparent and friendly corporate facade. Supporting text is in bold, tightly spaced to imply a more serious underpinning. This is finished with technical symbols, barcodes, and numerals for detailing and a high-tech feel. The final logo was designed to adaptable. The eye element color could be changed to whatever it was applied to, such as red for the Jeeps. A sub-variant of the logo was created for InGen operations, who were responsible for facilities on the island. Only used in black Helvetica bold, it was represented on set as a solid 3D element on props to give an industrial feel. Regardless of your views on the movie, Matt and his team have done a wonderful job recreating the InGen aesthetic, which I'd argue was missing from the World movies. What do you think of the InGen logo that they landed on? For the InGen facility lab, the primary task was applying InGen branding and tech info to the set in an applied texture manner rather than using standard signage. This meant conforming the designs to the awesome architecture James had created as opposed to traditional sign boxes. Hundreds of codes, symbols, and InGen trademarks were cut from white and grey vinyl and applied to the set, primarily to the huge containment wall and door. A 20-foot Fomex laboratory sign was also CNC'd by Data for the rear wall area to give another area to show distress for the destroyed lab. Fictional tech company logos were designed to be applied to the industrial props. Among these were nods to Jurassic staff, new and old. One key brand was taken from Crichton's The Lost World novel, Design Associates, as the manufacturer of InGen's CAD computers for sequencing DNA. These brand names were applied to props on set both as decals but also as etched metal plates by PPD Limited for added reality. I was delighted to design a map for a Jurassic facility. Key story elements, gates, fences, drainage tunnels, and docks were plotted in punchy colors to aid quick recognition by the viewer. It was printed on opal acrylic for backlighting with holes for LEDs to mark specific areas. The wide aspect screens showing sections of the map or vehicle diagnostics were printed onto opal. To supplement the motion screens, period-style thick software binders were manufactured by MacIver Plastics and silkscreen by Stylo, featuring painstakingly drawn retro line art of our incubation pods and computers. Around the set, contextual signs were dressed onto the concrete surfaces. The text for them was lifted from the written descriptions in Crichton's original Jurassic novels. The signs were finished with contrast strip on the left edge to allow them to be stacked on surfaces but appear visually congruent even if they varied in size or color. All signs were machine etched from glossy Trotec for a sterile feel. There is just so much here that wasn't seen in the movies, maybe seen in the distance, but we really should have had Dr. Loomis and Duncan spend much more time in the abandoned lab, pick up some of these props and really explore it all. It would have been a nice point to breathe in the movie and allowed for some real on-screen world building. Go check out these posts for yourself, as there's just so much more to look at, and it has to be said, huge thanks to Matthew for sharing his wonderful work. Last but certainly not least, Sophie Cowdrey shared some of her work on the movie. I was delighted to spend a couple of months in the art department for this incredible film. Most of my time was spent working on the gas station convenience store set, which features in the Mutadon chase sequence. It has to be said, we always wanted to see Site B in operation before it was abandoned, and I think now more than ever, we all want to see Site C in operation before its abandonment. Seeing some workers grab coffee at the gas station before carrying on with their shift, I mean, come on, that's what people want to see. I mean, just look at how in-depth this work is. It really makes the gas station feel real, lived in, and unique to this island. And it's really aligned with the InGen that we know, because if this gas station is anything to go by, the staff here upped and left the island just as fast as they did Site B. It really makes you wonder what happened, what caused them to leave in such a rush. We know that the D-Rex killed that dude, but in that scene, we didn't see it escape. Surely they didn't abandon the island after the opening scene of Rebirth, but I could be wrong. What do you think? Go check out all of this work for yourself, pore over the details, because if you loved Rebirth, if you love the world of Jurassic, you will love all of this art. Thank you for watching this video. I'll have more for you soon, and yes, my review of Rebirth is coming. I will be honest, it's been pretty tough to write because on the one hand, I don't want to be negative, but on the other, the movie really let me down. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.